There comes a moment in every life when time seems to pause, when the noise fades, and you're left standing face to face with a choice. That choice may seem small on the surface, like getting out of bed early, turning down a party, saying yes to a new opportunity, or saying no to an old excuse. But beneath it lies the power to reshape everything you are and everything you will become. That moment is not about tomorrow. It's not about next week or next year. It's about now. Because change doesn't start when the conditions are perfect. Change begins the second you decide you're done living beneath your potential. We live in a world that convinces us that we need more time, more resources, more motivation. But the truth is, you don't need more time. You don't need more money. You don't even need more support. What you need is one decision. A decision to show up for yourself. A decision to stop postponing greatness. A decision to stop waiting for permission, to live the life you know in your bones you were meant to live. The power of one decision is greater than a decade of procrastination. One real choice, made in a moment of clarity, can break the cycle of self-doubt and redefine the rest of your life. Think about it. Every great transformation in human history began with one moment of courage, one decision, one person who said, "No more, I choose a different path." They didn't have it all figured out. They didn't have a map or a guarantee. All they had was a burning desire to change and the guts to act on it. You have that same fire inside of you, but it's buried under excuses, fear, and old stories you've been told about who you are and what you were capable of. But those stories are not your truth. They are not your destiny. They are just noise. And today, you get to silence them. You see, the brain will always find a reason to wait. It will tell you, "It's not the right time," or "What if you fail?" But your heart, the part of you that knows what you were born for, doesn't it care about perfect timing? It only cares about progress. The longer you wait, the louder fear grows. But when you make a decision, a real one, fear starts to lose its grip. The clouds begin to lift, and for the first time, you feel the weight of your own power. One decision can be the difference between regret and legacy, between existing and living, between comfort and greatness. Most people don't fail because they're weak. They fail because they never decide. They live in a mental limbo, waiting, wishing, hoping, but never choosing. And without choice, there is no change. Without change, there is no growth. Without growth, there is no life. Only repetition of the same empty days over and over. Maybe you've failed before. Maybe you've broken promises to yourself. Maybe you've quit halfway, lost your way, or doubted if you could ever be more than what you've always been. But none of that matters now, because your past is not your prison, it's your platform. Everything you've survived has prepared you for this moment, and this moment is asking you for one thing. Decide. Decide to change. Decide to rise. Decide that your future will not be a carbon copy of your past. You don't need to know how. You just need to start. It doesn't matter where you're starting from. You could be broke, broken, tired, alone, or lost. That's not your identity. That's just your current location. You are not defined by your setbacks. You are defined by your comeback. And every comeback begins with a decision to stop retreating and start advancing. You don't need confidence to begin. You gain confidence by beginning. Most people wait to feel ready before they act. Champions act until they feel ready. Your decision doesn't need to be massive. It doesn't need to change the world overnight. It just needs to be real. It needs to come from the depth of your soul, the part of you that refuses to die with your dreams still buried inside you, the part of you that knows you were made for more. That decision could be to start waking up an hour earlier, to stop running back to comfort, to commit to your health, to stop numbing your pain, to finally write that book, launch that business, mend that relationship, or walk away from what's been killing your peace. Whatever it is, start now. Start ugly. Start scared. Just start. Because the moment you decide, the universe shifts. Doors you never saw begin to open. People you need begin to appear. Strength you never felt begins to rise. Life rewards action, not intention. It doesn't matter how good your goals are if you don't move. 1 inch of action is worth more than miles of theory. And the beautiful truth is, every step you take fuels the next. Momentum isn't born, it's built. But it only comes to those who move. Stop glorifying motivation. Motivation is a spark, but it's discipline that builds the fire. Motivation comes and goes, but a decision sticks. A decision becomes your anchor when your emotions betray you. A decision says, no matter how I feel, I show up. A decision says, even when I'm tired, I keep going. A decision says, I don't need approval, I've chosen myself. The world doesn't owe you anything, but you owe it to yourself to become everything you were created to be. You may not have support, but you have a voice. Use it. You may not have a perfect plan, but you have a pulse. That means there's time. And if there's time, there's hope. You don't need a second chance. You need to make this one count. Make this moment your turning point. Make today the day the excuses died and the fire was lit. Don't wait for rock bottom. Rise from right where you are. It doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to be honest. Let your decision scream louder than your doubt. Success is not one giant leap. It's a series of small decisions made every single day. The decision to stay committed when it's boring. The decision to be kind when it's hard. The decision to keep believing when you haven't seen results. These aren't flashy, but they're powerful. Because brick by brick, decision by decision, you are building a new life. A stronger life. A life that reflects the strength, wisdom, and fire that's always been inside you, just waiting for permission to rise. Today, give yourself that permission. Give yourself permission to become the hero of your own story. Not because life is easy, but because you are stronger than the lies, louder than the fear, and bolder than your past. And that strength becomes unstoppable the moment you decide to be done with mediocrity. The moment you say, no more excuses, no more delays, I'm starting now. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to be present. You just have to show up for your own life. This isn't about overnight transformation. It's about consistent evolution. It's about becoming 1% better every day until one day, you don't recognize the old version of you. Until one day people ask, how did you do it? And all you'll say is, I made one decision, and I never looked back.